we can rearrange this mirror a little bit. And share that screen. Select the screen. Screen 1, that's the one. Allow. So let's say type show link to drop link. Pin that. And let's see what kind of interest there is in what we're trying to do here. So let's start with playing solitaire for a few minutes. Because why is this? Remove that a little bit, right? So there we are. Hey, Cesar Mocha, thank you for visiting my live again. I so appreciate that. Always glad to see you. If only for a few minutes, then that's cool as well. Let me just see if I can hear this live properly. Live. That one's live. Okay, we'll watch that one on that phone. And now let's go here and see if this guy is live. So today we're going to finish playing a game of solitaire, and then we're going to turn down the sound so we don't get an echo in here. Not sure why we're not getting anything exciting here. Let's just refresh this guy. No, that's not what we want to do. We want to, no, we don't want to do that. We want to, not sure why we're not getting an update in there, but that's another whole issue. So let's let that wait for a second. Let's go over here for a second and get ourselves in there. See if that guy's with us. See if that guy's with us. And where is the internet must be slow because I don't see there we are. So that, yeah, why is the internet so slow? Okay, so that takes care of that. This thing still isn't awake. Now, so, hey, GPS Photo, glad to see you back again on my stream. You seem to be here quite a bit. Appreciate the opportunity to share my video editing with you. Oh, there it is. Okay, so now that woke up. That's good. So now, let's see if we can win this game of solitaire. What are the chances? This solitaire is the version that came with Windows 98, Windows XP. It's very old, and I don't like the new versions of solitaire, so I found a way of copying this from older versions. It basically is just the exe, sol.exe. The help text doesn't work because the help processing system got updated by our good friends at Microsoft. a while ago, and this the new version is way too slow and way too complicated. It I like the old one. It's fast. Okay, one more solitaire. See how many other people we're going to have coming in here, and then let's get some work done because I do want to post this thing tomorrow. We're a bit behind in posting. More videos and more watch hours. I'm not sure why we're so slow with the recent videos. I mean, the last one, after a day, it's only got 30 views. Am I doing something wrong? Did I change my my SEO so that YouTube isn't finding the videos and pushing them out as much as it did 2 weeks ago? I don't know what the answer to that is. I'm sure I'm going to get a few more spammy opportunities to hire somebody to validate my SEO. Some of them are from people that have fewer followers and views than I do, but that's okay. I'm not here to criticize anybody's way of doing business. Investigate also how Amazon links work. So I got myself an Amazon account, and so we're using items that are on Amazon, like the frying pan that's in all of these videos is available on Amazon. And if there's an opportunity for somebody to buy it as a result of watching this, then that's cool. Okay, so let's get rid of Solve here. Let's open Premiere. Create yourself a new project. Hey, She Cooks. Yeah, the numbers drive you crazy. Why? I like your show because, I mean, you have a je ne sais exactement quoi, a style that is hard to walk away from, and you've got a good following, and I love your pattern. I love your recipes, but I love your persona and some of the personas that you do. They are amazing. So in the quest for watch hours, let's edit another cooking video. So this one, what are we going to call this thing? I've got a file name over here. Let me just copy the existing file name. Here it is. It is a mystery. It is liver mushrooms. So let's just get that name so that everything has the same name. And we'll call this project, hey, there you are, liver mushrooms. We'll make it new. And let Adobe do its thing here. The okay, we're going to create a new sequence. And I see on TikTok, everybody's upset about CapCut changing the terms and conditions because they can use your video, and that's causing all kinds of consternation. I like Adobe because I've been using it since the beginning of Adobe Premiere, one of the very first versions. And so basically I know how to use it as well. Although I do look at other people's tips and tutorials, and I learn something every day. So here we have the footage from this liver and onions cooking session. And they're all short clips. I like recording each ingredient and each activity with an ingredient, in one clip. So let's bring this in to the Adobe Workspace, and we'll drag that over there. Let it sit. It'll import the files, and we're going to look at something else. Hey, Norma Raymond, welcome aboard. Thank you for dropping in to watch me talk while I'm editing. And I said I'm going to do something else here. So we had a live session on the boat a couple of days ago, and my plan was to cook and talk live at the same time. So recorded basically the same dish as I'm going to edit now, liver and onions. Over the winter, I'd taken all of the video lights. DJ, hey, welcome aboard. Taken all the video lights home, and basically cooked in my my auxiliary kitchen, sort of semi-studio, photo studio. And so the boat wasn't really set up. And I also discovered I couldn't talk and cook at the same time, which is why I record a voiceover after I have edited the video to decide what I want to do. Now, so this is a shot from the boat. It's the camera angle is wrong because I can't really see what I'm doing. The lighting isn't quite right, and there's a little bit of crap on the counter that I should have removed. But I did want to get the boat kitchen ready to do this again. So I don't know if I'm going to use any of this footage. I'm going to look at it at least. The final result. I'm not super happy with the look of the food. The color isn't that great, and you can't really see the mushrooms in here. So I'm not totally unhappy with the attempt on the boat. But I thought I would do the thing all over again. Hey, Lee Sang, welcome aboard. Let me give you a wrench and network if you wish. I don't remember your channel, but maybe I do remember. It's sometimes hard to remember what I'm doing here. So we're going to look at some of this footage to see what I should do different on the boat. Now, the first thing is the camera angle is wrong. I can't see inside the dish. I don't have enough lights. And because I was trying to go live and cook and record and talk about the cooking while I was also talking to the live, I got totally discombobulated. Here's the final dish. So it's kind of dark, but I think we're going to fix the color on this because I want to see what it looks like. I'm not going to use it for this session, but I wanted to bring that up because it is cooking on a boat. Miss Honeybee, welcome. Come by. Thank you for coming by. I can't talk today. Thank you for coming by to my video editing session, thinking out loud. That's probably the best way to describe what I'm doing. I'm thinking about loud and sharing some of my thinking. If it helps anybody, then that's cool. If it is a way to spend a couple hours, or well, not an hour, a couple hours. We're going to spend. This is going to be about an hour and a half before I have to go to bed, basically. So these are our clips from the take 2 of 4.7, 4.6, 4.5. Okay, so they're sorted the wrong way around. Let's sort them the right way around. And let's take these clips and stick them on the timeline. Now, all the editing that I'm doing is in HD, 1920 by 1080, because that... thanks, Miss Honeybee, for your nagging. I do find people click if somebody else tells them to. If I tell them to, they just keep on doing their thing. So we're shooting in 4K, really Ultra HD, on an Olympus EM5 with a nice zoom lens on it, and lots of lights. So the lights I have at home are better than the lights on the boat, and some of those lights actually belong on the boat. It's a bit more cramped, but I think we can make it work. So here, it wants me to. It asks me, do I want to change my timeline from HD to 4K? And the answer is no. I want to keep my timeline the way it is, because when I look at this, for instance, this clip here, which was shot in 4K, eventually it'll wake up. So this is me cutting a piece of liver. It nicely fills the screen. But if I want to change the zoom a little bit, I can make it like I'm zooming in and out. And if I shot the thing in HD, the possibilities are a lot less. So shooting in 4K, editing in HD works very well. And even if when I'm using my phone for recording, the phone is also set for 4K Ultra HD, and gives me the same opportunities to get in here. So this is a piece of liver. Now the movie's about liver, so I'm going to put liver at the beginning, even though in sequence I cut my onion first, and then I cut my mushrooms, and then I cut my liver, mainly because the liver makes like a nice bloody mess here, and I didn't want to see that. So I did my the things that don't make a mess first. Yeah, Kerry Reeves, Kerry. Let me just call you a Kerry. Thank you for coming by. Let me give you a wrench network if you wish. Subscribe would be fantastic. I don't think you're a subscriber, but I can't remember. Anyway, so we're going to take the things that are this ingredient, which is the most important, the liver, and then we're putting it in a bag and coating it in breadcrumbs. We're going to put that at the beginning because it's the most important thing. So we can very simply drag it to the beginning. And if you compare this to how things work in CapCut, it's such a better tool. And again, we're editing on a computer. I've tried editing on a phone, and my fingers are too big. I see people editing with a stylus, like the Samsungs come with styluses. That eliminates the fat fingers issue, but the screen is so small, and if you're typing characters, you've got this stupid little keyboard. I much prefer editing on a phone, on a computer. Okay, so let's first of all, how much video do we have here? So this whole thing is 11 minutes long. See, that pops up 11 minutes. And it ends up with me taking a bite out of the final item. So if I can end up with 8 minutes of good footage, I could have put in the ingredients at the end that takes up another 10 seconds and an intro out on the water. So it's a nice length. But it's going to be a little bit too long anyway. So first thing, I'm a slow cutter. So let's see, are we going to fall asleep watching me cutting here? It's not so bad. I've seen worse. I love, she cooks and roasts was watching. I love the way she prepares her food. You learn something from her every day, including how to be a great personality. So we're going to put this, we're going to start by with a bit of action of putting the liver on the cutting board. Plop, there we go. And did I turn off the sound? No, so there's a bit of noise in the background. We'll deal with that later. But I think we're going to hear it's not a very loud cutting sound like I'd get if I was cutting some other items. But let's leave the speed alone for now, because I do want to keep it, like get 8 or 9 or 10 minutes out of it. So here, what am I doing? Now I'm putting it in a bowl. And here, see here, this one, I've only zoomed out just a little bit to 80%. Let's actually center this. I like a better one center. This one, because there's more stuff on the plate, um, I'm going to zoom out more. Let's see. Yeah, that's not bad. So now I'm cutting the pieces in half. And when I do my voiceover, I'm going to talk about the fact that I want the pieces small enough that they cook easily. When my mother made liver, it would always be the full piece, and we would cut it up afterwards when it got served. Okay, we're going to cut in the action, so that's the end of the action. And this is the shutter speed is 1/25th because I want a little bit of crispness in here, the crispness. It's not cinematic, but we're not having a love affair with our piece of liver. So we got a minute and a half of liver. Yeah, it's not bad for cutting up liver. Minute and a half. Might be a little bit long. We'll come back to that later on. Okay, so now we're going to, again, zoom out a little bit because we want to see the breadcrumbs being put into. See, if I go down too far, then I'm out of the frame. So let's get the frame to fit. And let's see, make it a bit small. No, that's a good size. Let's move it over so our action's in the middle of the screen. Okay, there's a piece of paper towel on the side. We don't really need that. So let's go a little bit bigger and go a little bit down. And so we're mishing it up in the bag. That's good. Okay. Let's cut that there. I think I then actually zoomed with the lens to get a closer look at this. And no, that's a waste of time. Now we get a couple seconds of the breading in the bag. I mentioned this before to other people. The first 8 frames of video doesn't have sound on this camera. And even though the sound is just a background room tone, I don't want to have a dropout in there. So we'll just cut out the first 8 seconds, 8 frames. Okay, so here we're going to cut an onion. Again, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's bring the action down so we can see it in the middle of the screen. Let's bring it down a little bit more. Whoops, too far. And we're going to peel off a bit of the onion. We're going to cut it in half. We're going to cut that into pieces. Cut, 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 cut. And we're going to cut that because I already know that what's going to happen next is we're going to have, we're going to put the onion in a little dish because I want to keep the camera focused on my cutting board. Under normal circumstances, you'd throw this. Hey, Sethi, thank you for coming by my live. Let's give you a wrench. I think I checked your channel out yesterday. Appreciate the opportunity to share with you. Okay, so now, first of all, so the next question is, how slow is this in real life? I'm not the fastest cutter in the world, although I watched somebody this morning that was slower than me, and I don't feel so bad. Let's leave it the way it is. We might speed it up a bit later on. Now, we're going to put it in the dish. Okay, let's cut that there. And I want 4 seconds of dish. Where's 4 seconds? There's 6 seconds. 5. So you see you don't see it because it's hidden behind my head. You see Premiere tells me how many seconds they've got. And I'm going to move this up. So we see basically the action of, we've got the finished onions, and we're going to put them in the dish. And I think in real life, then I dropped a piece on the table, so I did it again. Okay, so we got some mushrooms. And when I was on the boat, I didn't use enough mushrooms. I put in half a pound, so a quarter pound of mushrooms. Hey, Wisdom, sorry the Nightbot is giving you a hard time. He does that. I don't argue with him because it's pointless. He will always win. and I do believe he provides a useful service to keeping the chat under control. So he seems to really dislike people putting 25 emojis in a row. Um, I don't really see what he's upset about unless I spend time analyzing the chat afterwards, and sometimes I don't have that much time. So I didn't use enough mushrooms yesterday, so now the recipe is going to call for. We have a pound of liver, and we're going to put in half a pound of mushrooms. I like these brown creamy mushrooms. Let's make it a bit lower. We're going to leave it full scale here. Um, so basically, it's the middle of a 4K shot that we're keeping. See, the whole shot is here, and we're going to just keep just the middle because I want to see the action of cutting up the mushrooms. Again, is it slow? Yeah, it's a bit slow. I think we'll speed this up later when I see how long the total program is. Hey, Erlen Vlog, thank you for coming by. I think, sorry, last time you were by, we had internet troubles, and you just came, and then the internet died, and that was the end of the story. And looking it back afterwards, when I looked at the replay, I lost about 10 minutes of the end of the video and of the chat. Um, from when I remember it started circling. So that's kind of interesting that where YouTube cuts that off. Wisdom, you asked about what do I know about cooking. I'm a sailor. I know how to cook. In real life, I have worked as a baker in a retail bakery, in a commercial bakery, like a factory bakery. And some of our products were meat pies and meat rolls and more of the food items rather than just cakes and breads. And so I learned a lot there from that. And I was a cook, if you can call it that, in a burger joint for a while. So that was cooking. She cooks what's cooking? Liver and mushrooms. Okay, we're going to put some mushrooms in a bowl. Let's cut that off a little bit there. We don't need that many seconds. We need 4 seconds. Okay, why don't I start here? I moved it because I realized that it wasn't in the center of the frame. So here we go in the bowl. Where's 4 seconds? There's 9 seconds, 8, 7, 6. There's 4 seconds. So that's nice. Then what did we do? We put some oil in the pan. Now, here we had a couple of, I do know fish. And I'm waiting to get out and catch myself a couple perch to do a catch and cook. I don't really want to do a lot of catch and cooks, but perch is such a wonderful tasting, and this is Lake Ontario lake perch fish. So I'm going to do a couple catch and cooks of that. So here we put some oil in the pan, and then unfortunately I dropped the, and I'm only sharing this with you, so everybody that's going to watch it thinks I know what I'm doing. So we put some oil in the pan, and then we drop, well, let's get rid of that piece of leftover flip. And then we dropped, okay, I guess I didn't record it. Managed to drop the onions into the pan and made a total mess. So I had to recut that. So it's not 100% close. Let's get this to line up a little bit. Where are we here? Move this guy over just to get him to line up. Is that the same? No, we're in the wrong way. Let's move up a little bit. So we're just trying to get the 2 shots to line up because as I made a mess and I had to reshoot this. Okay, that worked. Okay, we don't need more than a few seconds of this. 11 seconds is good. And then we'll steelhead. So I do have a piece of steelhead salmon. Now, I didn't catch it. I bought it at the fish market in Toronto yesterday. And it will be most likely the next cooking episode. And it'll be steelhead salmon with vegetables and gnocchi, the Italian potato dumplingy thingy. Partly because I want to keep in mind, if you're cooking on a boat, like how much stuff can you keep in the fridge? So in this one, liver has to go in the fridge, but the onions and the mushrooms. Sorry, Wisdom, I'll just change my thought here. The editing of that will probably take place Sunday morning, Sunday in the Eastern Standard Time, and the clip will go live on Monday. Now, it has to turn out proper as well. And I was debating a little bit about what vegetables am I going to use. And I was at the market and I saw a wonderful yellow zucchini. So yellow zucchini with green asparagus and red bell pepper and red onion. So that I've got a nice range of colors. And the steelhead salmon is a very deep orange. Even when it's fried, it'll still be a nice color. So. And the gnocchi is white, so it turns a bit yellow after it heats up. It's not 100% true. I live in the city and I cook in the house sometimes, and the boat is tied up at a dock, so I'm not forced to live off the boat. And we do have a bit of a fridge, but it's not big enough to store anything. And so all of my recipes are keeping in mind if I was in a different boating environment. I mean, my stove still doesn't work. I have a propane stove and I've got to get it fixed. I'm using a butane burner, but it's something to keep in mind. So gnocchi keeps forever until you open it. Then you got to use it all up. Anyway, so here we are. We've got some onions, and now we're going to put in some mushrooms. Let's see, is this likely to line up? Okay, so I don't want to spend the rest of my life aligning this. So let's go back and put this guy 960 by 540. Let's make this guy 960 by 540. And we'll fix the first clip that's off. 540, so it's centered, HD centered. And we'll make this guy align him. So he's, the bottom of the pan is there, and that's about there. So is that a good? Is that good? I could measure it, but that's good. So that lines up nicely. So that's part of the editing thing. How do you make stuff flow? It's not live television. It's not a cooking competition show, but from time to time, half of the people that watch this watch it on the TV, so they're looking at it as cooking entertainment, and I do want to give them a quality experience, or at least as good as I can. Okay, so here we're going to stir. Okay, so here, let's make this a bit, zoom out a little bit, get a little bit more excitement in there. Stir. We'll take out the first 8 frames. How long is this clip? This is 17 seconds. 17 seconds is probably a little bit too long. We'll close the lid. There we are. Now we're down to 15 seconds. And here again, we'll take off the first couple of seconds and stir some more. And for variety, so I don't like zooming in on things, even with HD quality. Hey, Wisdom, thank you for dropping by. And as a Sunday, we should be editing the fish if I don't screw it up, because if I screw it up, I have to go buy another piece of fish. Then it'll be live for entertainment purposes on Monday, Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so here, this is small. This is small. Let's make it a little bit smaller still. We want to show the stirring, the art of stirring. Okay, now here we're going to make room. Okay, so let's bring this over. We got a nice transition there. We're stirring some more, and now we're going to make a space. Okay, we don't need this empty time of just watching an empty frying pan doing nothing. Okay, so we're going to cut it here. And go back to the beginning of where, I mean, there's some bubbling of the oil in the pan. Yeah, thanks for the bell. I like belling people because then they show up on my subscriptions page and you can see what people are up to. I do appreciate that. Okay, so now we're putting in the liver, taking it out of the bag, swishing it around, giving it a bit more oil because it got a bit dry. But I don't want my mushrooms to be so oily that they're soggy. So put some oil. Okay, that's good. And the voiceover will talk about doing that. Okay, so now we got this. So I see I have a problem. Because there was a shotgun microphone plugged in, sorry, a wireless microphone plugged into the camera that I did not remove, we don't have any sound. So we're going to have to find some sizzle from another episode. So you hear there's no sound wave at all. Add some sizzle from another episode to this. So here we are. But we've got some good sizzle. Now we're going to add some paprika. Okay, so the problem is that the paprika, I wanted to show the bottle to some extent, but it's not really showing up in the frame. We're going to have some garlic powder. We're going to mix it around, mix. Add a bit more oil and let it fry. Now, the thing about putting a lid on it, so in frying with a lid, things don't get as crispy as they might, which is not bad in here. But I also don't want grease spatter all over the boat or my counter here because I don't have as much room as I would have in a kitchen. And cleaning it is a real pain. So there's my lid going down, close the lid. And I'm stirring a little bit. And I zoomed in the camera. I'm turning the pieces over. The video quality is not bad. Again, the high shutter speed, 1/25th, makes the nice crisp images. The other thing that it does, because this is supposed to end up in a cookbook or in a cooking blog, so I'm looking for still shots of some of these steps. And this, I can extract a still with especially moving, probably not, but in the special semi-still, I can get a nice quality still for publishing in a blog or in a book. So I made the mistake. I was out sailing and I was running the same camera, and I had a slow shutter speed, like a 30th of a second shutter speed, and the water was rough and the boat's bouncing around. And later on, I'm looking at some of the footage, and it's a blurry mess in those cases because the shutter was open for too long. So after that, I started shooting outdoors where I've got lots of light at 1/250th of a second. And people will say that makes it look too crisp, or at least the people that shoot movies will say it looks too crisp. But it avoids blurriness. Okay, what am I doing here? I'm stirring some more, stir some more. Okay, so that's kind of boring. All we're doing is stirring. Okay, so here we're testing a piece of liver, right? Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to take out this clip. We're risking the end. This doesn't add much. It's sort of the same thing over and over and over. Let's see what it's called. Reveal. There it is. It's clip 43. We're going to delete it. Yes, I want to delete it. And I'm going to go over here to my pile of clips. Oh, that's the other folder. What did I say? 43. So where's clip 43? There it is. We're going to just put a Z in front of it. I don't delete it right away because I always worry about needing it again. And this way it sits there, but the Z tells me that it's not used, so it's gone. Let's take out that empty space. How much we got left? We've still got 9 seconds. That's good. This is not a complicated recipe, so it doesn't need to be that long, except that YouTube rewards you better if you've got a longer clip because people watch more of it. And so here we're missing some more. Okay, so now I'm going to zoom in a bit because when I did this, zoom out, I wasn't totally paying attention to where I was cutting. Okay, I'm doing it twice, right? So I'm cutting it once and looking for a piece here. I like the color, but then I'm doing it again. So why don't I cheat, right? We're going to take the first cut and open it there. So it's about there. Then we're going to take the second cut and stick it right next to it and see if that looks like a good. No, so we waited too long, right? So here, let's bring this down a little bit. And I'm going to show you something here. We're going to move this on top. And we're going to take this and make it less, so it's not so opaque. And we can see that this one needs to move over more and up more. So now it's going to line up nicely. So this is a way of aligning two clips visually. Let's bring that back up. And let's see if that looks respectable. Okay, that's too much hanging there. Bring it up. Let's keep it moving. Don't stop. Don't stop. Oh, the stop there. Okay. Pardon me. And let's see if we got a respectable open. Yeah, that's not bad. It's not 100% great. What if I put a cross dissolve in there? Is that going to look decent? A fade. Let's try cross dissolve. Let's see if that looks good. So we're moving it in. I think I prefer it without this dissolve. I prefer just straight cut. And there we are. So we see that we're checking the color, that it's cooked. It is cooked. I was happy with that. Let's bring this in here. And then we're going to serve it, right? So we don't want all of that empty plate. Let's make it a bit smaller. Zoom out just a hair. Bring in there. We want to see the pan. And we're going to serve it out. There's the end of the action. And now we're going to serve it and enjoy it. So here, I'm using this blue plate in almost every video, getting a little bit bored with it. Okay, so there's that. It's not bad. I like that. I like that. So we're going to have a bite, and that's the end of the video. Now, I've got a second shot of the taste test. And what I'm going to do with that, oh, I'm cutting a piece off there, right? So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to use 10 seconds of this. How long is this? It's only 6 seconds. Shoot, that's a bit short. But we're going to put this at the beginning so that we can show the, let's bring it up a little bit. So we can show the dish and the enjoyment of it at the beginning. So this is going to be there, and then we're going to cut into that. So basically, this is my edit in terms of assembling the video. I'm going to take out this blank space. It's going to have a voiceover introduction of me in the captain's hat on the water. But this is our video, so I'm quite happy with that. So this is, because I had the camera on the boat, I probably lost track a little bit of how bright things are, and it's not bright enough. So let's add an adjustment layer, as Adobe calls it, and it's the same as an adjustment layer in Photoshop. It's okay. We're going to stick that down here, and we're going to drag it for the length of the video, and we're going to make it brighter. So see, the cutting board is bright enough, but some of these other things aren't. Maybe I should. Let's see if what we're going to try is see if we can apply the same color correction across the whole board. I know that the color temperature is correct because the camera has been set to, I don't know, 3800K, something like that. And I've done testing to make sure that the whites are white and the whites are white. But let's make the shadows brighter. Okay, so that looks better. Now we've got that. See, that one's too dark. That's too dark. That's too dark. Okay, so this, I don't think I can do the same adjustment across the board. What the heck? Okay, let's bring the shadows brighter across the board. So that liver looks good. That looks good. That looks good. The white's a bit too white there. Okay, let's just change the setting here. This is too much empty space and not enough action. Ounce of Paradise, thank you for coming by. I would love the fact that you've had a chance to drop by. Let's give you a wrench. On this channel, please network as you wish. Ounce of Paradise is not a cooking show, but she's got some good stories to tell. Okay, so that's okay. That's okay. The blacks are good. The blacks are good. The blacks are good. I like all the colors. I like the colors. Maybe this is a little bit too bright, so let's just take out a hair of brightness. And what we're going to do, these four here are too dark in my opinion. So what we're going to do, we're going to adjust the color on them individually. So again, this Lumetri thing is Adobe's way of adjusting colors. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to increase the whole exposure a bit. Previously, we didn't increase the exposure; we just increased the exposure of the midtones, the shadows. So now, does this look good? Now we're starting to cook. I love that. Okay, I think that's bright enough. So here we're going to take the same setting, copy it, Control C, and paste it on top of here, Control V. So does that look good? I like the color. I like the color. Okay, still too dark. Let's go there, make that brighter. A little bit washed out. I don't mind it. So this one, we want to be a bit brighter as well. Yeah, so that's good. That's good. And because we've got the same clip at the beginning, let's give it the same setting. And I think we've got good colors now. I'd like this liver to be a little bit redder. In a previous attempt, I had washed the liver in milk, soaked the liver in milk. I don't think that makes any difference. I just happen to like the taste of liver anyway. This time I just washed it in water, and that took off some of the blood, so it's not as red looking. And I think red is a better color for liver than what we've got here. So now we've got time in the hour that I plan to spend on this. As I say here, if you listen, those are frying. No sizzling sound. So what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of all of this soundtrack because it's all a waste of time. We do that by Alt and select it. And the soundtrack is gone. And as I said, we're going to bring in some sizzle from another video. So the easiest way to do that, I'm going to just look at it, a video I edited a couple of days ago, and steal its sizzle. Sweet and sour chicken, shrimp paprikash. I think this had better sizzle. So here, see, look at this. Look at that sizzle. Ignore the sound for the time being. So what we're going to do is we're going to steal this sizzle. Copy. Close this. Doing it this way is faster than searching through a whole bunch of folders of video clips. Close the project. And we're going to stick that at the end here. And we're going to get rid of the video part that we don't want. And now we've got some sizzle. Okay, I guess we've got some banging there. Some banging is okay too. Let's put the sizzle under where the sizzling happens. No sizzle, no sizzle, no sizzle. So sizzle will start there. Okay, so the noise of the spatula works out properly. Hey, SSV Kitchen, thank you for coming by. I'm editing the cooking of some liver. I'm just cheating a little bit because I somehow had not turned on the microphone on the camera. Actually, I left a different microphone plugged in, but I hadn't powered it on because I wasn't using it. And so we just stole some sizzle from another. Okay, we don't really want that banging. I guess I'm banging on something in the other clip. So what we'll do here is we're going to, sizzle is good there, sizzle is good there. So here, okay, so we don't want that banging. We're going to cut. Let's make it just a bit longer because I need sizzle all the way. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to put in a cross dissolve, an audio dissolve there because we don't want it to just start. Now there should be some noise behind that as well, and I've got another clip where I'm pouring oil into the pan, and so we're going here. Now, because, let's cut this here. Because when the lid goes on, the sound of the sizzle is less, right? Because you can't hear it anymore. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lower the sound of the sizzle. When we start putting the lid on, keyframe here for audio gain, and another keyframe. And let's take it down, I don't know, 2 decibels. Let's go down 4 decibels. Okay, that's good. Maybe a little bit too much, but okay, then do we have the same thing? Yeah, we put the lid on there, so we got to do the same thing here. Let's cut this. At this point, we'll find where the lid is going down. And we'll do the same here and put in a keyframe there and a keyframe a few frames later. That's where it goes. I was just moving the current frame pointer with the arrow keys. Put that in there, and we went down 4 decibels. Okay, 4 is not enough, because when you, in reality, you can barely hear the sizzle. That's good. So what did we do? We went down 8 decibels. Let's go back to this other one and do the same there. 8 decibels, 4, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, thanks, Ounce. I have been doing this for a few years, as I say, but the first version of Adobe Premiere version 2, when it was video capture cards and coax cable from broadcast televisions, probably in the late 80s. Late 80s, I think, is when that started. So it's been a few years, and this is why I pay for Adobe. DaVinci Resolve is free, but I don't know how to use it properly, and I don't want to spend forever learning it. At this point, I can afford the I think it's $20 Canadian a month for Adobe Premiere. It's not great, but it pays for itself. Hey, Go With The Flow, thank you for dropping by. We're editing liver and onions, liver and mushrooms. Okay, so here we did this. We're putting that in. Yeah, there's some few extra cutlery noises there that aren't in here, and we're cheating a bit by bringing in sound from another video clip, because I forgot to turn on the sound, turn on the microphone on the camera, which was quite embarrassing. Okay, so here we're going to cook. So we need sound out there. Okay, that's all we've got in this one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut this off and extend it a bit. How far do I need sizzle? Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. I need sizzle all the way out to here. Although by this time, a lot of the oil is gone, so I don't need that much sizzle. But let's just take this piece and copy it and stick it here, and then see how much that gives us. Okay, so it's a different frequency sizzle. So I don't mind so much as a different frequency. What we're going to do is we're going to take another small chunk of it and duplicate it and put it here. So we've got the same, shoot. Copy there. I didn't copy that. Isn't Control Z undo helpful? Yeah, it's like learning how to ski by watching a video, but I did learn how to ski by watching a video. And in the end, you just have to do it. So let's see, is this lining up? Does this sound okay? Nice sizzle, nice sizzle. Let's bring it a bit closer because I wanted sort of the same frequency as sizzle. Yeah, that's good. I don't want it to be noticeably different in quality of the sizzle. We'll put a little crust dissolve in there. And now we're going to cut that off there, and we're going to bring in this one because it's a different sounding sizzle, because it's getting cooked better. Okay, so here, yeah, I want to leave that in there, the covering, because it's part of the action of cooking. So what we'll do again, we're going to put a keyframe in here, and then go forward a few frames. The lid is closed. another keyframe, and go down 8 decibels is what we did last time, right? So now that's good. And it's the lid is very short in there. I wonder if I should leave the lid longer. Maybe that would, first of all, give us 2 more seconds of video. Let's see how much, if that whole lid was closed for a whole couple seconds. Okay, so that's good. So let's go here. We'll put that there. Then we'll extend this to here. So now, and then we'll bring this guy back. So now, yeah, I like the sound. Yeah, tell me if you can do that with CapCut on your phone. As I say, my fingers are way too thick to accomplish anything respectable on a phone. Okay, so we got some sizzle here. More sizzle. Yeah, so the sound of the spatula is good. Okay, so we get too much spatula noise there. Let's get rid of that. We're just going to dump that, and we're going to just duplicate a piece of this. And no. Put that back. So this is where it was, right? So we're going to bring that out here. We're going to bring this in here. I don't mind that. So this is a different sizzle noise. That's okay because it's been pretty well cooked. So it's not going to sizzle as much as it did at the beginning. And that's the end of our sizzle noise, right? So let's put in that cross dissolve here so that it fades out nicely. And we have, it actually was pretty good. It was my late lunch today. I ate the one on the boat too. I like the one on the boat a little bit better. I think I put a little bit more garlic in it. And but I put fewer mushrooms. So this one had more mushrooms, so I like that better. So we're approaching the end of where I want to be. I'm going to do the same thing with some sound here. I've got a sound of cutting that I'm going to put in there. And then the music is going to affect that a little bit as well. So let's make this smaller again so it's not taking up so much room. But I want to talk about one tiny little thing here. So here, I'd made this mistake a few times. And when you look at food photography, everything is fake. Not everything, but fake is okay. You know? You don't put syrup on pancakes, you put motor oil. You don't put whipped cream on pancakes, you put shaving cream because it has certain effects. And one of the things is that when things cook, everything turns brown. And so I've been trying to find a way to make my final dish pop a little bit more. And both for the video, but also for stills for the blog and for the cookbook. So in here, what I did is before it was fully cooked, in fact, it was like probably back after about halfway through the video, I saved a couple pieces of mushroom that had been cooked probably for about a minute, and a couple pieces of onion that had been cooked only for about a minute. So they're still fresher looking, and the color isn't as dark. And I then placed them on top of my dish here so that the mushrooms and the onions stand out a little bit more. And that's sort of my cheat in making this go. I did the sweet and sour, and I really wanted the little bits of red pepper to be so bright red, but I hadn't saved a few pieces of the red pepper. And there's only so much you can do with Photoshop to make them look better. I figured now I'm going to do less cheating and simply put aside a few bits of the actual dish. Let's just center this a little bit more because I really want to see the food more than I want to see the stuff around it in there. So now that's 7 minutes and 52 seconds, so a bit shorter than I'd hoped for. So definitely we're going to leave the, I'd said the cutting of the liver was too slow because it took like 29 seconds to cut up a piece of liver. Where's my liver cutting? How many seconds is this? It's 39 seconds. I was going to shorten that, but I think I want to stick around this length. So I think people will suffer through my liver cutting as it is. So I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I've done the basic edit. I fixed some of the sound. I still have to record a voiceover, and I have to stick a video track under it, and I have to add a title to this, and I'm going to have an intro of the captain at the waterfront, like as most of the videos do, introducing liver and mushrooms. Now, what I'm going to do, just because I've got a few more seconds and people are watching, I'm going to bring in some of the footage that was shot when I did this on the boat. As I said, I didn't have the right lights, and the camera wasn't set up properly because I was trying to talk at the same time. But here, this is the recording on the boat. So I'm going to just take these two clips sort of at the end and bring them in and see if they could have been saved. Okay, so first of all,
probably gone in it.
I'm going to take out the sound because I'm talking for the live. So let's get rid of the sound. It's just going to confuse me. And I'm looking at this. Now, the thing is, this camera was set the frame rate was set to 30 frames a second. 30 frames a second is the default for video in North America. 25 frames a second for Australia and Japan and England. And so the edges are like it's blurrier, but it was shot in 4K. So let's make it bigger here, and let's see what it looks like. I do like. I don't mind it. See, that was very blurry. Why? Because the lid got in the way. So that was a bad shot. Let's get rid of that one. But let's see if we can save this guy by fixing the exposure and make the black a bit blacker and the shadows a bit brighter. I would eat that. That's not bad. The problem is I don't have the whole video because the angle of the camera was so bad that it didn't. The cutting of the liver was awful afterwards. So, but this color isn't bad. Now I think the camera is a little bit too yellow. Let's go a little bit. The white balance is a little bit wrong, and now the mushrooms look the way they should. Let's just find this shot of the cutting of the liver. Where's the cutting of the liver? So here's the cutting. Is this one the cutting of the liver?
Yeah, I had a spinner on. And bellow.
That's not the cutting of the liver. This one's the cutting of the liver. Let's bring in the cutting of the liver. And let's get rid of the sound again because it's going to annoy us. And see, the white balance has changed. So now it's too blue. So let's go a little bit more here. Or we can just use the white balance picker because I know that the cutting board is white. It's a pretty good white. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit, center it, see what it looks like. Okay, so this one needs, let's give it the same 2.4 increase in exposure, 30.31 increase in shadows. That doesn't make any sense. 2.4 and 3.1. I don't know what it's using. It's actually not stops, and it's whatever the heck it is. I think it's a little bit too yellow. That looks like a better color. Yeah, so it's not bad. I've got to bring the better lights and leave them on the boat, and bring the taller tripod so the camera can look down on top of what I'm doing. So let's get rid of this. It was an experiment. That was an experiment. Let's remove these from here because they're just going to clutter up my my project. And I think we have sure, SSV network away. It's I do it, and it's the only way to grow your circle of acquaintances, and I learn something from everybody. So with that, I'm going to save this. I'm going to close it and put it aside, and save my stat settings from this live. So I do like understanding what is happening, and take a shot of this for posterity. Save that. Good, you're saved. And with that, say thank you for coming by. This should be posted to the channel tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, our time, and then we should be cooking the no, hold on, what day is today? Today's Friday. This should be posted tomorrow, Saturday, and then we'll be cooking the steelhead salmon and vegetables, editing that Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, and then that will go live on Monday. Yeah, Monday. Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Tuesday. Thank you all for coming by. I will drop in and visit some of your lives for the rest of the evening, and figure out what music I'm going to use for this and what my script is for the voiceover. So again, thank you very much. Good night. Ahoy. Do I want to end my stream? End.